If you want to have proper tire development and also good results, I think Porsche is the best option on the Nordschleife.
Porsche, driven by dreams, engineered for magic, a timeless machine with no substitute. Porsche is an icon of the automobile world, a legend on the circuit, and a symbol of dreams. From Le Mans to Nürburgring and countless motorsport events, the name Porsche has become synonymous with victory and perfection. Now, a new chapter begins as Hankook competition joins forces with Porsche. A powerful synergy will push the boundaries of performance and innovation. Together, the challenge to the world begins.
It's raining very hard here on the backside of the circuit. I don't know how long we can stay out on dry tires.
Please try to endure as much as possible. Do not push too hard. The sun will rise soon and the track conditions will improve.
Copy, copy. Who's the car right behind me? Are we for position?
They're not competing with us, so feel free to let them pass.
Copy, copy.
Oh, guys, I had a bit off. I'm sorry.
Oh, back into code 60 we go, and it is the 911 car, I'm afraid to say, that has crashed heavily at turn 15. So 911, which is the Hankook competition Porsche, currently being driven by Stephen Show.
이 포르쉐라는 메이커가 이 팩토리 드라이버, 팩토리 팀부터 시작해서 커스터머 팀, 커스터머 드라이버들까지 이렇게 단체 사진을 통해서 잘 챙기고 그리고 많은 지원을 해준다라는 느낌을 받았었고요. GT3 차량들부터 SPX, 그리고 GT4 차량들, 그리고 일반 양산 포르쉐를 가지고 튜닝한 차량들까지 여러 종류의 차량들이 있었거든요. 정말 장관이었어요.
Yeah, I think it would have been also nice to participate with a Korean brand car, as we are, of course, a Korean brand tire.
아쉽게도 현재 그 누버링에 참가하는 레이싱 차들의 중에 가장 클래스가 높은 수준의 차량은 국내 메이커가 제공을 안 하고 있기 때문에 아쉽게도 이제 그 다른 유럽산 차를 썼지만
There were many race cars that we considered, but I think we focused in on Porsche for a few reasons, but their commitment to the Nordschleife seems to be the highest.
이 모터스포츠라는 경기를 통해 나오는 데이터를 기반으로 해서 타이어를 개발하게 됩니다. 흔히 얘기하는 오이 타이어라는 부분이 그런 부분인데요. 근데 저희가 포르쉐를 고른 이유는 최근에 저희 한국타이어가 포르쉐라는 브랜드의 거의 대부분의 차종들의 타이어를 공급을 하고 있습니다. 카이엔이나 마칸 같은 모델뿐만 아니라 타이칸이나 911 라인에까지도 현재 연구 개발이 이루어지고 있기 때문에 그런 브랜드의 기본적인 철학뿐만 아니라 메커니즘에 대해서도 좀 깊게 이해를 하고 그 운동 성능과 타이어의 조합을 어떻게 하면 최적으로 가져갈 수 있을지에 대해서 고민해보고 싶어서 포르쉐 992 SPX를 선택하게 되었습니다.
If you want to have proper tire development and also good results, it's good to take a Porsche to try to be up in front somewhere. They also do a lot of development for highest performance street tires on the Nordschleife, which is also important with Porsche, which is also one part of Hankook's company as well, and one direction for the future.
And so looking at all of those sort of technical advantages, the amount of support they were willing to give us on the circuit, and again, as well as looking at the OE relationships that we have that are growing and developing, I think it was just naturally the best choice for us. So as we were preparing for the Nürburgring program, we understood that the challenge was going to be formidable.
그렇다 보니 이제 시뮬레이터를 통해서 일단 연습을 많이 했던 것 같아요.
And so we took the opportunity to do 2 races just to get used to the car, to get used to the controls.
올해 24시 시리즈의 첫 경기, 무젤로 경기, 스파 프랑코샹에서 열리는 스파 경기도 이렇게 나갔었는데요.
So that it would feel very natural to try to make our building of performance at the Nordschleife a little bit easier.
For the 10th time in the 10th full season of the Hankook 24-hour series, we're about to go racing for the Hankook 12 Hours of Mugello live right here on
저희가 2023년도에 이 경기장에서 한번 경기를 해봤기 때문에 굉장히 익숙한 트랙이었고, 그리고 차량은 또 이번에 처음 탔던 거기 때문에 정말 욕심 부리지 않고 사고 내지 않고 적응하는 시간을 가졌던 것 같아요. 이 차의 퍼포먼스도 굉장히 좋았고요. 그리고 또 이 차의 적응도 생각보다 빨리 잘 됐어요.
The stock car is a front-engine car with no ABS, no traction control, sequential gearbox, quite difficult to drive. You really have to get a lot of experience in that car to be fast. While the Porsche 911 car is a rear to mid-engine car, has ABS, TC.
It's the 911 there, getting a lap back on the 58 Mercedes. So 911 is being driven by Stephen Hsu of Hankook Competition.
And how's the race gone for you so far? It's a very, very competitive class.
First time in the 992, it's a great car, super easy to drive, but getting that last little bit is always the challenge.
이제 최후미에서 출발했지만 클래스 P2까지 올라갔던 것 같아요. 이 아쉬운 점은 굉장히 많아요. 분명히 퍼포먼스가 좋았음에도 불구하고 계속 이 순위가 오르락내리락 했었거든요. 근데 우리의 본 목적은 이 차량에 적응하기 위해 이 경기에 참가한 거니까.
So overall, it was a good experience. I think by the end of the weekend, we had a good idea of the different characteristics of the car. So I think it was definitely worth it to go there to do a couple events in advance. The second pre-event that we participated was at Spa. Unfortunately, because JK had to also race in the Korean series, he was not able to join us. But Ricardo and I joined our other co-driver to do the Spa 12 hours.
올해부터 이 슈퍼레이스에서 GT4 클래스가 신설이 되면서 저희 팀의 AMG GT4를 가지고 참가를 하게 됐는데요. 저희 한국 컴피티션 팀이 또 한국 대회도 굉장히 중요하다고 생각했기 때문에 저는 이제 한국 경기를 참가하게 됐고, 주황우 선수와 최명규 선수는 스파-프랑코샹 서킷에서 시합을 치르게 됐습니다.
Welcome everybody to day 2 of the 12 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, powered by Hankook.
So Spa is another one of those famous circuits with unpredictable weather. We saw that last year, and this year was no different. In fact, I think it was more extreme. We had sunny conditions, we had wet conditions, we even had hail conditions. I think we could almost say it was almost snowing. Starting from the beginning of the weekend, the conditions were, again, right in between whether you should be on wet tires or dry tires. It was quite unclear. But I think it was also a good preparation for us going into the Nürburgring.
Now, there is a choice here as to where you start the race, but we're going to be starting it as the Grand Prix does on that straight between turn 20 and turn 1. So
Again, we know the wet tire very well. I was feeling quite comfortable with the car. And I think just somehow the balance between the tire and the car was matching very good. It was a really nice stint for me personally, but also as a part of our preparation for the Nordschleife. Yeah, it was very good.
Developing now. The drainage here at Spa is traditionally very good.
The continuingly difficult weather conditions and course conditions generally, we started to see a lot of incidents on track. So just right at the very end of the race, I think we had less than an hour to go. It started raining again. We were on slick tires. It's raining very hard here on the backside of the circuit. I don't know how long we can stay out on dry tires.
Please try to endure as much as possible. Do not push too hard. The sun will rise soon and the track conditions will improve.
Copy, copy. Who's the car right behind me? Are we for position?
They're not competing with us, so feel free to let them pass.
Copy, copy.
Oh, guys, I had a big off. I'm sorry. It's okay?
And it is the 911 car, I'm afraid to say, that has crashed heavily at turn 15, which is the Hankook competition Porsche, currently being driven by Stephen Show.
그때가 외부 촬영 중이었는데 뭐 한국 컴피티션, 뭐 스티븐 조, 뭐 메디카 센트레 막 이런 너무 익숙한 단어가 이제 계속 들리는 거죠. 그 핸드폰을 켜서 중계 화면을 보니까 뭔가 굉장히 큰 사고가 났고 그러다 보니까 이제 무조건 뛰었던 거죠. 일단 피트로 돌아오니까 팀 매니저였던 이제 패트릭 씨가 그 사고 현장으로 이제 들어갔고 이제 저랑 이제 최명길 선수는 그 시간 동안 뭘 해야 될지 좀 떠오르지도 않았고 일단은 그냥 무조건 기다리고 있었습니다.
That is good news that the driver is conscious and will be heading to the medical centre. But Steve,
어쨌든 현장으로 갔던 두 분이 돌아왔고 메디컬 센터를 떠나서 정밀 검사를 할 수 있는 병원으로 좀 이송을 한다라고 들었거든요. 그렇게 이제 저는 병원 주소를 받고 짐들을 챙겨서 병원으로 좀 가봤습니다.
The tricky part when you're driving like that in those kind of conditions is not just that you're on the wrong tire, but it's that different cars on different strategies are driving at different speeds. So I could see the car coming up behind me, and they were not our competition. The plan was simply to give them more than enough room to pass on the inside, which I did. And I think they just misjudged the distance between our cars, and it was a very small impact, and just that little bit of lateral force pushed my car out of control off the circuit. It was quite high speed. I think we were doing about 180 kilometers an hour. So it was the biggest in my career, actually. Car was very badly damaged, had some injuries as well. Overall, it was a pretty bad situation and experience. But then also I was immediately thinking about our upcoming race at the Nürburgring. We had no time really to think about it. We had to look straight towards preparing for the Nürburgring.
We have to decide the driver for top qualifying. So we have to Steven drive top qualifying.
There are separate top qualifying for the top classes, SB9, SPX, so they can secure the front of the grid. Most teams will put their fastest driver for that. I have picked Steven for top qualifying. Normally JK is our fastest, but honestly Ricardo and Steven both understand
characteristics of HankookTire very well, and they are capable of delivering the best performance and quick lap time. So any of them would have been a great choice. But with Steven's motivation to bounce back after the Spa-Francorchamps crash, and considering the lack of track time in Q1 and Q2 due to the weather, I went with him for top qualifying.
Straight away I was thinking about looking forward to getting back on track at the Nürburgring, put this incident behind me as fast as possible and just focus on the next challenge. With a new car, new circuit, new organizers. On top of that, we're finalizing our partnership with Manthey for our race program. Thanks to some introductions and some relationships that Tim Bergmeister had at Porsche and at Manthey, we were able to very quickly agree on a partnership. I think it was quite meaningful that us as the works team for HankookTire and Manthey as the works team for Porsche, finding a way to work together, not only for this event, but sort of with the desire to create a longer-term relationship.
Manthey started with Olaf Manthey being also like a Porsche team in Carrera Cups and on the Nordschleife, and from then on he got more connected to Porsche and did also development on the Nordschleife. Started doing like factory entries on the 24 hours for them on the Nordschleife. And in the end, they do all the high-performance stuff for Porsche on the Nordschleife, like street car development, race car development on the Nordschleife. They also do factory programs like WEC they did with GT2 cars.
저희 모터스포츠인들의 입장에서 봤을 때 만타이 레이싱 팀은 단순히 모터스포츠 팀이라고 보기에는 조금 아쉬운 부분이 있고요. 저희는 이런 팀을 판단을 할 때 모터컬처를 선도하는 팬덤을 가지고 있는 팀이라고 더욱 높게 평가를 하고 있는 것 같습니다. 그렐러라는 단어가 만타이 레이싱 팀이 사용하고 있는 레이스카의 색깔인 그린과 옐로우 색깔을 합친 단어를 뜻합니다. 그 만타이 레이싱 팀의 팬들이 자기들을 스스로 칭하는 용어가 이 그렐러라는 단어인데요. 단순한 일반적인 팬들의 수준을 넘어선 어떤 자동차의 전문가이자 자동차의 팬덤이자 자동차의 문화를 선도하는 사람들의 한 축으로 그 팬덤을 이어가고 있습니다. 한국타이어가 지향하는 모터스포츠가 바로 이러한 부분이고 국내에 이런 올바른 모터컬처를 좀 전파할 수 있을 것 같다는 생각을 가지고 있었기 때문에 만타이 레이싱 팀을 선택을 하게 되었습니다.
So in consultation with our new partners, Manthey, we thought that the SPX category would be a good place for us to start. From our perspective, we could start our tire development program, and from Manthey and Porsche's perspective, they could continue some development work that they were doing on the 992 SPX platform. And so it sort of worked out that we thought that that was a good place for us to kick off our partnership and then continue to move on to our future projects going forward.
퀄리파이어 대회는 자체적인 예선 레이스입니다.
레이스 엔지니어들한테는 많이 어려운 서킷이죠.
뭔가 풀어진 것 같아요.